In this video, we will be learning how to subtract decimals from each other. Just like when we add decimals together, to subtract decimals, we have to make sure we write them on top of each other so that they are easy to subtract. And just like adding decimals, we have to make sure the decimal points are always on top of each other. So let's do example number 1. 6.2 minus 4.3. I know I have to write them on top of each other, so I'm going to write 6.2 minus. Now when I write my 4.3, I need to make sure that the decimal points are exactly underneath each other. 4.3. Right. 2 minus 3. I can't do it, so I have to go next door and borrow some more. I borrow from the 6, it becomes a 5, and I borrow this 1 to make my 2 a 12. 12 minus 3 is going to give me 9. Bring down my decimal point. 5 minus 4 is going to give me 1. So my answer here is 1.9. Now this was an easy example because the decimals line up very easily, but let's try example number 2, where the decimals are a little bit more difficult to line up with each other. So I have 21.4 minus 18.32. Now my decimals must be underneath each other. So I have 18.32. Now here we will notice that there is no number in the hundreds column for the first decimal that they've given to me. And that is 100% correct as long as the decimals align with each other. So because I have nothing in my hundreds column, it's basically like I have a 0 there. There's nothing there. So then I have my 0 and now I can subtract as normal. 0 minus 2 I can't do, so I go next door and borrow from next door. So the 4 becomes a 3 and I carry my 1. Now I have 10 minus 2, which is going to give me 8. 3 minus 3 gives me 0. Bring down my decimal point. 1 minus 8 I can't do. I go next door, I borrow. 2 becomes 1, and now I have 11 minus 8, which is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is 3.08. Let's try one more example that's a little bit more difficult because the decimals do not align with each other. 104.82 minus 92.91. So I'm going to write my first number, 104.82. When I write my second number, I know my decimals need to align with each other. So here I have a 9 and a 1. Here I have a 2 and a 9. And I'm going to subtract them. 2 minus 1 becomes 1. 8 minus 9 I can't do. I go next door and borrow some more. The 4 becomes a 3. Carry my 1. 18 minus 9 is going to give me 9. Bring down my decimal point. 3 minus 2 is going to give me 1. 0 minus 9 I can't do, so I go next door and I borrow some more. 10 minus 9 is going to give me 1. 0 minus nothing is going to give me 0, so my answer here is 11.91. If you understand all three of these examples clearly, then please pause the video and try this example on in your online journals. The first two have been stacked for you on top of each other, but number 3, 4, and 5 need you to place them underneath each other with the decimal points aligned.